Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Vurtiny. You can call me V for short. And this is why I don't like the term art style. I think the term art style is so misleading, and I think it would be better for young artists to just focus on other things instead. I've been posting on Instagram since 2015, right? And I feel like it's something that has definitely stunted my growth as an artist. Like if I just had that one thing that was super unique about my art style, and I was the one who was posting the super dynamic action poses, and it was really good, and everyone would know that it was my art style because I did my eyes in a particular way, or I did my mouths in a particular way, or I didn't draw noses, or something like that, right? But that brings me to my first point, is that it creates unnecessary pressure on young artists to try to find that unique thing about themselves. Obviously, everyone is unique in their own way. I mean, we all have our own experiences, right? But what I feel is bad about this mindset is that it pushes young artists to try to be consistent when they're still learning. I don't feel like consistency matters that much, especially when you're super early in art. Like someone could be drawing in their sketchbook and they make this really nice sketch, like a one-time, like really good, oh, it's so dynamic, it has the perfect eyes, whatever. And then they try it again and they kind of fail. Maybe the eyes weren't correct, or maybe the head was too big or something like that, right? So then you're always looking at that previous piece for inspiration, like, oh, I need all my work to look this good, So it gives this young artist this sort of negative mindset about their work. Not only that, but if you feel like, oh, I like this art style and I want to lock into it, you're less likely to experiment with other techniques. And limiting yourself so early is not good, because I feel like the younger you are, or the earlier you are at art, the better it is to look at so many different types of styles. I mean, sure, everyone has their own preferences, but I don't think that means you should bottleneck yourself in any type of way. Or to take another example from my past, I started out just drawing in sketchbooks with just regular pencil. I never colored my work, and even in the rare times that I did color things, it was mostly just in crayon, right? So it has its own look to it. If I stood my ground at that point and said, oh yeah, pencil and crayon, those are the only mediums that I'm going to use because that's part of my style, I wouldn't have ended up learning anything. When Adventure Time came out, it was a huge inspiration for me. So all of my early drawings were pretty much based on that style, right? If I had stayed consistent with that style till now, I still wouldn't be drawing noses. Don't look at the nose that I don't have right now. Even program-wise, when I first started digital, the only program that I used was Rough Animator, which is obviously not as an advanced program as something like Photoshop. And yes, programs do dictate your style to an extent. If I had stayed just drawing in one program, I wouldn't have ended up learning something like Blender. Blender's a 3D program, which, it isn't useful to everyone, but I obviously found use in it. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't feel it was necessary to experiment with other types of mediums. Not only that, but it's not how professional artists work at all. Think about the people that worked on Transformers 1, Spider-Verse, Blue-Eyed Samurai. These all have pretty distinct styles. They have different eyes, different noses, things like that. But I can tell you for sure that the same people worked on all three of these projects. Professional artists adapt their styles depending on the project or medium that they work in. Specifically if you want to work in a studio, obviously.
But V, I need a super awesome art style that no one's gonna take from me.
No, you don't. Instead of obsessing over your style, I think it's much more productive to do what excites you in the moment. If you want to do something that's rendered, go ahead. If you want to do something that's cel shaded the next day, go ahead. I don't think you should be bubbling yourself into this one thing just yet. Even the most famous artists in the world didn't have a consistent style. Think about Picasso. Picasso went to art school and he drew, classically beautiful artwork. And then he went on to Cubism and all that. He did whatever he wanted with his art. And I think you should too. I think the term visual language is a much more fitting term for what we're talking about here. This character has a much different visual language than this character. Different techniques were employed in the rendering stage, in the sketching stage, that make it so that there's a completely different outcome at the end. I think that as you continue to, do art and all that stuff, you start finding things that you become more comfortable with after you've done all the exploration you needed to do. Therefore, in the end, you can still be authentic to yourself and draw the way that you want to without forcing yourself to draw eyes a certain way, to draw noses a certain way, to draw anatomy a certain way. Do what you think looks cool, do what you think fits the project. And remember, don't box yourself into a single quote-unquote art style. So yeah, what's your guys' take on art styles? Feel free to drop a comment and, do all that YouTube stuff. I don't know, dude. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.